guys? Listen, we need to talk about the Shanquella Robinson case and why there might have been some truth to what the Cabo 6 was saying, but it doesn't let them off the case. You guys, it has been weighing heavy on me all weekend. We found out that the FBI is the one, not Mexico, but the FBI is the one investigating the doctor, the two police officers, and the official. And if that's the case, and we have the video, what is taking so long? What is the FBI looking for? So I did a little digging, and guys, this is going to blow your mind. The Cabo 6 might have been telling the truth. This actually might just be deeper than them. This actually might have been a case where a bunch of evil people colluded, all doing separate evil things at one end, and how Shanquella's death may be blowing the roof off everything. You guys, let's get into this. What am I talking about, right? What am I talking about? One, okay, remember when the Cabo 6 said that the doctor said it was going to be $5,000 to take her to the emergency room? And they were like, we don't have $5,000. So the doctor said, well, I guess I have to treat her here. One of the reasons the FBI might be investigating the doctors, at least it looks like it is, the doctor actually might have asked them for $5,000. In that area, did you know that the U.S. government has issued a travel warning against going against any doctors, especially a hospital named St. Luke's? What does St. Luke's have to do with the American Medical Center? Well, you're about to find out. You guys, buckle up. Just think about this. Buckle up, please. And just wait till the end to think about it, because it's going to blow your mind. What does it have to do? First, let's get into how basically America said Cabo is not safe for medical care because they routinely ambulance chase, jack up prices to exorbitant amount, and withhold care to the point that people might actually die. See, Mexico is trying to make it seem like it was all the Cabo 6, and the Cabo 6 were being evil. Those kids were fighting. They had a plan. They hurt Shanquella. They are the ones responsible for her death. My opinion, Desiree Jackson is. My opinion, until I see other evidence, I think the other ones did too. However, Mexico keeps trying to push information. Oh, but the doctor, she didn't know. And the FBI is saying she didn't know, or maybe she's one of the main cases. Not why Shanquella died. That goes to Desiree. But the doctor's the main reason that they got to leave. And that they think they got away from it. Because had the doctor not tried to allegedly price gouge and ask for that $5,000, Shanquella would have been taken to the hospital. See, we're assuming that the doctor had Shanquella or any victim's best interest in heart. But the U.S. is saying that regularly in the Cabo's area, none of the medical professionals have anybody's best interest at heart, and they're only interested in basically holding people hostage, right? They're only interested in holding people's hostage to bleed as much money out much as they can. And once the Cabo 6 said, we don't got it, maybe the doctor said, well, guess what? I don't got it either. Again, people have been making excuses. Oh, she's incompetent. You can't blame her. The American government seems to be blaming her. But let's get into this because you know I bought receipts. First, let's get into the warning that America has issued for all the hospitals in the Cabos area. Particularly, the U.S. consulate warns that a hospital at popular Mexico destination preys on American tourists. Now, I'm going to take you into the story. It's crazy. But a lot of you might say, but was she at St. Lucas? She was treated by American Medical Center. Guess what? St. Lucas literally was so bad in their practices that the American government put a travel warning all people, do not go near that hospital. There are people in tourist bloggers forums that say, even if you get picked up off the street, because there are ambulances going to pick you up off the street, scream at the top of your lungs, even if you're dying, do not take me to St. Lucas, because you might not walk out. And even if you do, they will suck your bank account dry. Even if you need life-saving surgery, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Why is that important? Because even for everything St. Lucas isn't and how the American government says, watch out for it. Nobody at this point should be traveling to Cabo if you don't have to. Pick another, there's DR, there's Puerto Rico. Well, DR has an advisory for racism, but there's Puerto Rico, okay? There's a few islands left. Go to Jamaica, heck, right? But let me just get back on track because I'm getting somewhere and this is really important. St. Lucas, for all the warnings, for the State Department saying, stay away from it. Do you know St. Lucas still has a higher rating than the American Medical Center? St. Lucas, for all that, their rating is 4.6. American Medical Center, the nurse that was from or Shanquella is 3.8. And if corruption is this bad, that they have put a red line around all of Cabos, what makes you think the American Medical Center is even better? Again, what weighed heavy? Why is it that this is taking so long? Could it be because the investigation is getting bigger than Shanquella? Could it be that those vipers, it was a viper nest, that when the FBI looked into it, they were like, whoa, what's going on? Again, when they said that they needed 5,000 to take her to the emergency room, I thought that was impossible. I thought they gotta be lying. But that's the thing with most people's lies. They have an ounce of truth. And it looks like there might have been an ounce of truth to the Cabo 6. And what they were saying about being shaken down by the doctors and the ambulances. And why Mexico wants to point the finger at the Cabo 6. America is pointing the finger right back at Mexico. Because even though Desjardins was ultimately responsible for Shanquella's death, Cabo 6 might have helped cover it up, right? Out, and let me just say this one more time because I just want to get through your head. The doctor and those authorities may be guilty for letting those murderers go because they wouldn't pay these shakedown prices that the American government has issued a travel warning about. They refused to take her to the hospital for correct medical care, and they refused to take her to the right places so that her body, instead of being taken to the hospital and an autopsy being performed, it was taken to the morgue. Because guess what? The morgue can make money off of it, right? Because it's all about making money, not about applying care. But let's get into this. U.S. Consulate Lawrence Hospital, a popular Mexican destination, preys on American tourists. The U.S. government is warning Americans to avoid a hospital at a Mexican beach destination following years of complaints that the facility preyed on Americans by overcharging, bullying them, and refusing to release medical records. Again, St. Luke's is rated almost double higher than what American Medical Center is. And we're going to get into the reviews about the American Medical Center because over the last 5 to 8 months, so many tourists have been claiming that they are doing these exact same predatory statements. More than 100,000 U.S. tourists arrive in Los Cabos at the southern tip of Baja California Peninsula each month, drawn by its beaches and dramatic desert landscape. It appears there are not only a boon to the hotels and restaurants of the twin towns of Cabo San Lucas and San Jose de Cabo, excuse me, but also St. Luke's Hospital and Cabo San Lucas and all the hospitals. Multiple complaints have been filed by U.S. citizens saying the hospitals demanded tens of thousands of dollars in advance payments, threatened patients' relatives, and refused to release clinical reports on what care they actually provided. That led to the U.S. consulate in Tijuana to issue the unusual health alert Wednesday about St. Luke's business practices. They say U.S. citizens have reported instances of withholding care for payment, failing to provide itemized list of charges, ordering unnecessary procedures, maybe 14 rounds of CPR and adrenaline. Don't forget, her daddy had to pay a premium to get the body back because there were bills too. Withholding U.S. passports, obstructing medical evacuations, and refusing to discharge payments without payment. I'm sorry, refusing to, you know what I'm saying, check out patients without payments. The hospital refused to comment when contacted by phone and email Thursday. The consulate urged U.S. citizens to go to other hospitals listed on the consulate's webpage. However, I did go to the consulate's webpage and there were no hospitals approved in Tijuana to go to. But we'll get to that. I have the receipts. Just let me get to them, okay? I'll be quick. There's some evidence that St. Luke's pays or otherwise compensates ambulances and hotels to send American patients there. What's more, they're thinking it's more than St. Luke's. This is a widespread practice in Cabos. The consulate wrote, please be advised that hotels and resorts in the Los Cabos area may have existing contracts and informal relationships with hospitals and medical centers. There was an apparent reference to reports, excuse me, in local media that the hospital pays ambulance drivers to channel American patients. The practice is apparently long-standing. An English language forum for travelers and residents of Los Cabos posted a comment 6 years ago that read, be aware that hospitals have ambulance chasers out all the time. Apparently, the drivers are paid a healthy fee for picking you up off the street and bringing you to the hospital. My Cabo friends told me that as long as I could talk to keep screaming, do not take me to St. Luke's. I'm going to read comments to say that American Medical Center is in the same book. Perhaps one of the most heart-wrenching accounts was written in a formal complaint filed in August by Scott Larson, a Los Angeles man whose wife, Patricia Larson, was rushed to the hospital while the couple were vacationing in Cabo in June. She was diagnosed with acute respiratory failure and pneumonia due to COVID-19. Patricia Larson had serious breathing problems and was treated at St. Luke's for 12 days. Listen to this. She got good treatment, but the hospital administrators were extremely aggressive, telling her husband they would transfer his wife to a community hospital if he didn't pay immediately $50,000, and that he would be unable to visit if she didn't pay. He put $10,000 on his credit card, but had no more money. Eventually, he paid $25K to get her flown to Arizona, where she passed away. The hospital has billed his insurance company, United Healthcare, $1 million, but never supplied the specific medical records of each treatment to justify the bill. Larson wrote that Marjo Trebela, the hospital director, told him, I want that deposit today. This is why his wife is dying. I want that deposit today. You go outside and call your family, whoever you need to call, or don't come back to this hospital. And if I ever hear about you recording conversations with your phone, you will never see your wife again. He went to the hospital. They shook him down. They wanted $50,000 cash. They billed his insurance company $1 million. This is Mexico. Everything is cheaper there. Okay, no shade to Mexico, but the cost of medicine is cheaper there. Okay. He tried to record the conversations to prove that they were harassing him and shaking him down. And the medical director told him, I don't care what you got to do. Go on your phone and call family. And if I hear about you recording conversations again with your phone, you will never see your wife again. It's not over. I got more receipts. Okay. What's been playing in the thing are pictures of American Medical Center, that is a hospital, that it is said that Shanquella's body should have been taken to, where they said they needed $5,000 to get her to the hospital. Again, the U.S. State Department has said this is all across Cabo, and they shake time. Perhaps the Cabo Six were telling the truth about that $5,000. Think about it. A lot of people think that they planned the murder in the U.S. I don't think they did, but I wouldn't put it past them. But I don't think they did. I think they were violent. I think they were bloodthirsty. I think that they attacked her because they had bloodlust, and it went too far. I think that when they saw something was wrong with her, they didn't care. But I think they were like, oh my God. And they decided to call just to make sure, right? They were just going to leave her slumped over the toilet. But when they thought it was something worse, they were like, oh my God. They called the doctor. They didn't want to get in trouble, right? So they called the doctor, but they said, oh, we think it's alcohol poisoning, because they didn't want to get in trouble. And I don't think that they actually thought that she would die, but they were fine to leave her bruised up. Again, they are guilty of her murder, and the FBI, nobody's going to let them go. But just hear me out on this. What if because American Medical Center, St. Luke's, all those hospitals have deals. Remember how they said, oh, there's an existing relationship with the clinic, and there's this BS about a high, powerful businessman is covering up, which doesn't make sense, because why would he cover up now? Now's the time to push everyone and be like, I don't have that type of stuff happen in my doctor, in my villas. Think about it. Remember how the local reporter said there's an existing relationship? There's an existing relationship between the villa and the doctors. American government is saying that existing relationship is like ambulance chasers. They call up the American Medical Clinic because they get kickbacks, not because they run, but because they get kickbacks. So they send rich Americans over there. So they call to send a doctor over. The doctor comes from, she's supposed to make an assessment of whether she can treat her there or whether they go to the hospital. The doctor looks at her, doesn't even check her out, doesn't care, and says, it's going to be $5,000. She needs to go to the hospital, and it's going to be $5,000, because that's what they do according to the U.S. State Department, shake people down. Again, you guys, be careful in Cabo. It's not worth it. Seriously. They said they wanted $5,000 cash. They're staying in a 3,000 night villa. Everybody look like money. Everybody's well kept. Everybody looks like it's rich. This look like it might be 5,000. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of y'all. I know you got money. I know y'all American. So that's about what, 800 each? Y'all look like y'all can do it. They asked for the money. They called the mom. The mom's like, we don't have it. She got insurance. They're like, we don't have it. The doctors are like, all right, well, then I'm just going to have to treat her here. They already know what they did. They're like, all right, well, just let the doctor treat her, right? Because it's the doctor's problem now. They go and cook dinner. Didn't Nasir say they were like, come on, let's cook dinner, right? The doctor is like, oh, well, I'm not getting a kickback. Let me see if I can shake them down. You know what? They won't go to the hospital, but you know what we can charge them for? We can charge them for the CPR. We can charge them for the adrenaline. We can charge them for the shocks. So even though, right? Even though they know they're not doing anything, they're just racking up the bills. Adrenaline, that's how much. 14 rounds of CPR, that's how much. The 5 shocks, that's how much. And we gave her adrenaline, that's how much. Yeah, we made some money off of this. The only problem is you are making money off of a dead corpse. So again, bunch of evil demons swirling around. Both of them ill intentions, both of them at fault. And is this why it's taking the American government so long for it to do? You guys, also just to let you know, I am going live tomorrow as a special happy birthday to Shanquella, so we can actually get on, discuss the case, talk about what we think happened, and some other news that I found out, some more lies. But in the meantime, right, St. Luke's has a 4.60 rating. American Medical Center has 3.80. It's in the yellow zone. Even though St. Luke's is not even fit for any American to walk in, AMC is below them. And these are the people that were saying they needed $5,000 for an ambulance. I'm telling you, I think it's a little deeper why the FBI is taking a little longer and what exactly they're investigating, and why Mexico is trying to get Desjardins over there so much, extradited, and they just want to talk to the Cabo 6 because maybe it is a rat's nest that they stepped in, and they don't want people looking too closely at the way they do things in Cabos, even though the State Department already had a warning out for them. But let's get into this, because let's read some reviews from the people that were treating them. Let's get some reviews, shall we? Right? All this says ain't nothing at all. Nothing at all. Hold on, y'all. And here's the funny thing. Ain't they saying in case of an emergency in Baja California, sir, call 911. Not the They also say the U.S. Consulate General in Tijuana, Mexico assumes no responsibility or liability for the professional ability or reputation of and the quality of service provided by the following hospitals and clinics. American Medical Center is on one of them. Inclusion on this list is in no way an endorsement by the Department of State or the U.S. Consulate in general. Names are listed alphabetically and in the order they appear. It has no significance. The information on the list of professional credentials and areas of expertise are provided directly by the service providers. You may receive additional information by contacting the local medical association. There are no approved hospitals at all in the Cabo San Lucas area that the American embassy feels comfortable with an American being in. But it's not over too. It's not over, because this is the part that y'all really got to see. That's going to trip you out because it's deep. Let's read some of the reviews, shall we? Let's read some of the reviews. They said, this was a horrible waste of money. I went to get a prescription sleep aid. I was having serious trouble sleeping. The doctor prescribed me Benadryl and began obsessing about my blood pressure, right? She also ordered expensive blood tests, even though I had blood tests done 3 weeks ago, but she refused to consider those valid. Instead, she ordered me to come back next week so we could talk about blood pressure while totally ignoring my request for my prescription. Don't waste your money with this place. Very bad doctors. They're just, in my opinion, they're just wanting money. Someone else said, Jeffrey C. said, worst experience ever. Went to see a doctor for a gash and they charged me 170 USD for a consultation and then tried to charge me 700 USD to put antibiotics on the cut. No attempts on contacting my insurance and no attempts to see if there was a fracture. And I walked to this clinic on my own. They said we came from the US and got charged $1,700 for a surgery. When we asked for the paperwork so we could send it back to our doctor back home, they kept on pushing it back. We stayed 7 days and called every day for the papers. They came up with excuses every day. This was very suspicious. When we got the injury checked, the doctor said that we were charged way too much and that there is an infection because no antibiotics were actually given. Iris said, the staff was attentive. Unfortunately, I was diagnosed with a first-degree sprain. When I arrived at the time to remove my immobilizer, I didn't feel well. They studied me, and it turned out that I had a ruptured ligament and meniscus requiring surgery. Sergio said, pulled down to refresh on January 3rd, 2020, we experienced a harrowing event bordering on medical negligence and malpractice in Cabo San Lucas. This is an American medical center where Shanquella, the doctor, hailed from. During vacation, we met an elderly friend for breakfast at a local restaurant where our friend became ill and was transported by ambulance to the AMC Medical Center. Initially, the treatment appeared appropriate. However, the following day, the doctors were recommending a pacemaker, a heart valve replacement, and a colonoscopy. Why can't I talk? Colonoscopy with an approximate cost of over $70,000 US. Based on his initial symptoms of vomiting and disorientation, we sought a second opinion at another hospital. The second hospital diagnosed possible intestinal parasites that were treated with medication at a cost of $220 for the whole visit. A few days later, our friend was doing very well and had no further symptoms or issues. This experience revealed a shocking and predatory medical practice by the AMC hospital. Our hopes are that visitors to Cabo are wary and question the ethical practice of AMC. Do you hear this? AMC Medical Center was willing to cut this man open, put in a pacemaker, a heart valve, and a colonoscopy for $70,000, and all they had was a parasite. But it's not over. It's not over. They said this hole-in-the-wall medical center held me here against my wishes. The doctor, who was not an OBGYN and knew that she couldn't help me, ran up a bill for consulting, which she couldn't do anything but put me and my unborn fetus life at risk. Oddly enough, the doctor that treated Shanquella, Miss Carolina, she is, her specialty is supposed to be OBGYN. Isn't that funny? They said she couldn't even find my baby with a fetal Doppler, but charged me close to $600 for absolutely nothing and got upset when me and my husband asked to be transferred. She said there were no local hospitals, which were completely untrue. Avoid this place at all costs. They will put profit over your health. Keep in mind, my water had broken at 24 weeks. Me and my baby could have died from sepsis, and my baby was at an increased risk for stillbirth and fetal demise, but she could care less. This is all about the American Medical Center, the reviews. One person said, I live in Cabo part-time as well as the US. I was admitted to AMC Hospital on the 12th of December for 2 nights. In all fairness, the staff was nice and I received good care. However, before leaving, I was asked to sign a credit card charge for the amount of my Mexican insurance deductible, which was about $1,000 US. I was told the charge will be reversed once they verified that my deductible was met, which it was not. I didn't think much of it since I was also admitted to Blue Net, another hospital in the area, the day before who practiced the same policy. My card was credited within 24 hours of Blue Net. However, with AMC, it's been 3 months and I'm still waiting for the credit. They say they won't credit me until the insurance company pays the bill, but I've since disputed the charge. Be careful of AMC. They practice unfair business policies. You guys, tell me what you think in the comments. Don't forget, I'm going live tomorrow. We're going to celebrate Shanquella's birth. And just talk about the case, where we're at, what's going on. Hopefully we have some good news from the FBI. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you later.